Good morning, everybody, and welcome in. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about grace. About 6 months ago to a year, I wrote about grace and how it is not something that we earn, it's something that we're given. And most of the time in my drinking life for those 27 years, that grace was there all along, and I just didn't take it. I didn't know how to take it. I wasn't sure I wanted it. I felt like what I was getting was what I deserved. And so I just neglected that grace. But as I got sober, I started to recognize that that grace that I was given had been there all along. And I write these messages down throughout the year and the last couple years from church. My church launched 2 falls ago, so it's been almost 2 years. And one of the things that I wrote down was just from the Bible that my pastor talked about, and just how grace is given to us. It's not something that we can earn. So no matter how many good deeds we do, it's not going to give us more grace. The grace that we get is something that is just given to us, and we can take it if we want it. And so I started thinking about writing a book, and I'm not sure if I should or not. These little messages, I've got so many of them. In 2017, when I was off of work, unemployed for about 10 months, I started writing a book, and it was going to be about being a dad, and a father and a husband, and all the things that went along with that. Growing up without any siblings and moving to into a getting married and having a family of six of us was kind of a shock. I grew up just me and my mom for the most part, and it was that way until I was basically in my 30s, and I got married, and my wife had 3 daughters already, and then we had one of our own, so four kids. And I felt like I had a lot of things I could write about. So I ended up handwriting about 400 pages that in that maybe 6 month period, and I got a lot down, a lot of feelings. It brought up a lot of feelings. It brought up a lot of stuff, but I got to a point where my hand was starting to cramp up. I was writing so much, and so I just put that away. I didn't look at it for a couple months, and I went back to it, and I ended up burning it all. And the reason I felt like I needed to do that was I felt like I wrote it. I was going to write a book, but I got to a point where I was like, maybe I just wrote it down, all those things down, just to get it all out, and then just to burn it, and to just not think about it anymore, because there was a lot of things in there that was hurtful, a lot of pain, a lot of trials and tribulations that I wrote down in there, and I was very vulnerable in it. And I wasn't sure that I was at a place where I could post or publish something like that. And but now I'm at a point in my life where, yeah, maybe I could. Someone recommended it recently. Have you written a book? And I said, I did once, but I'm at a different place now. I've got 4 years plus of sobriety under my belt, so maybe I should write something. What do you all think? Comments below would be appreciated, and let me know what you think about these messages. But I've got 4 years of things written down in my notes that these little messages are gonna, I think, come in handy for people that are wanting to be sober, still stuck in addiction, newly sober or slipping, and even people that are not finding a lot of hope in their sobriety. I found my church 2 years into sobriety, so um, it was just really by the grace of God that that happened. My favorite pastor left the old church that he was at and launched a new one about a year later, and I really hadn't heard anything from him. I just happened to be asking one of my daughters, have you heard from Brad lately or heard anything about Brad? And she said, I think he's opening a church and it's one town over, so a little further away from me than the other church was. But I looked into it, and it just happened to be the church launch was coming up in a week, and I thought, wow, that this was meant to be. And a lot of these messages that I'm getting from church and from the Bible are coming in handy in my sobriety. And this message of grace, grace, by the grace of God, I got sober. But that was just the beginning of it. So many things have transpired since then, especially in the last year, where in 2023 I made it a goal to care less what other people thought about me, and that has made a huge impact on my life because I feel like I was able to get in front of the camera. I was able to introduce myself to people in person, and I've been able to expand on those things, and all that was given to me by the grace of God, and I'm finding my talents now, and it's such a blessing. And so wherever you are in this journey, just take solace in the fact that that grace is there if you just grab onto it, and if you want it, you can have it, and it's free and it's given to us. And the longer we fight back on those things, um, and deny um, God what He is deserved, the glory, then I feel like that's just gonna hold you back. It held me back, and that's really what this podcast is about. It's about my journey and what I went through, and not so much telling other people how to live their life, but this is just how I have found benefits in my life. And so I really appreciate y'all being here. Any comments you have, anything you want to talk about, I'm there. I'm gonna pin my Facebook group that I created last month on in the comments section. Come and join. It's gonna be it's a private group, so I wanted to make it like that, so anything that we talk about can be confidential. It's not going to be posted out there in the public Facebook feeds and things like that. So it's all going to be private. We can just talk. Even it's more private than even this um, forum. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all being here, and have a great day, great sober day, and take care.